So Klaus Schwab himself could be deauthorized if he tests positive.
That's correct.
Wow, it's a very powerful control that you're perhaps one of the most powerful people here. Well, why was it important for you to come to the World Economic Forum?
Well, there are three levels actually. So the first one is that I'm in charge of the COVID strategy from a medical point of view here at WEF. So I'm looking at the operations and trying.
So you're working for WEF itself on COVID.
Yes, so I'm here to make sure that everything runs smoothly, together with a fantastic team, of course. I also just chaired a panel, so I was able to engage with people.
What's the panel about?
Health and nature heals, so nature and health and the interaction between nature, environment and health. And so that was of course fantastic, and the open forum is such a great platform because it's open, as you know, for the general public, so you can really exchange thoughts and ideas and really engage the general public as well. So that's a great platform. And then of course networking and really engaging with various people from all around the world and learning and contributing and hoping to find solutions for a better future. So that's why I'm here.
If there was one person who comes to the World Economic Forum that you would love to meet, to network with, who would that be?
Al Gore.
And why is that?
Because of his interest in environment, and as I said, the panel that I just chaired was about nature, environment, and health, and so I think that would be highly interesting.
Last question, and thanks for your time, by the way. You said you're in charge of COVID for the meeting. That's a very big job. I understand that if someone's PCR test is positive, that their card stops giving them access to certain things. Is that true?
That's correct.
That feels a little ominous. It feels a little bit like the Chinese-style social credit system. It feels like a dark future of surveillance, and I don't know. It feels like a digital ID system that might be rolled out on a larger scale. Is that what it is? It's sort of a test bed here?
Not really, because we have a human team behind it, and so we can always see in each individual case why it is. Have they had contact? Have they been positive for a longer period of time? Could it be a false positive test and so forth? So we really also integrate the epidemiology, the setting, what kind of contact they have had with COVID in the past 6 weeks. And
has anyone been locked out? Has anyone got COVID and tested positive and had to be kept out?
Yes, yes, but that's to keep the population, the general population, safe. And we have a lot of elder people here as well, maybe polymorbid people that really shouldn't be too close in contact with viruses such as COVID-19. So I think it's a quite a human and quite a pragmatic, but nevertheless as safe as possible strategy.
Does that apply to the VVIPs too? Like, there's some very fancy people here. I just saw Prime Minister Tony Blair. Would he have to take that PCR test too?
It applies to everyone.
So even the speakers have to take PCR tests?
Everyone has to take a test.
The same test?
That depends on whether they've had COVID or not in the past 6 weeks.
Oh, so it's just 6 weeks?
Yes, if you've had COVID in the past 6 weeks, the PCR test might be false positive. So we have to take that into consideration, and so we have then another test that we can provide in case.
So Klaus Schwab himself could be deauthorized if he tests positive?
That's correct.
Wow, it's a very powerful control that you're perhaps one of the most powerful people here. I mean, you just are such a friendly face. I thought I'd say hi, but I think I've met the power behind the throne. I think you're the boss. I'm a little terrified.
I don't think so. I think that's a false judgment. No, it's really a very humane operation, and we really try to keep everyone safe. So it's not controlling. It has nothing to do with that.
Last question. Looking back over the last few years, what do you think we got wrong about the pandemic and the lockdowns and the vaccines? Did we get anything wrong? If so, what did we get wrong?
I think we all knew, it's always also in the public health textbooks, that there will be pandemics, there will be epidemics. So the very basics to combat an epidemic or any infectious disease is to have gloves, to have disinfectants, to have masks, and we didn't even have that. That's ill-prepared. I mean, since 1800s, 1700s.
But we tried new things, like lockdowns have never been used before. Were they a success or a failure?
I mean, there are a lot of questions you're asking here.
I mean, you sound so smart on these things. It's what you do. I think the lockdowns didn't help, and they actually made a lot of things worse. But I'm not an expert. You are.
So, in retrospect, I agree that the consequences of severe lockdowns were grave, and we always have to take into consideration the entire health system and also the mental aspects and the social aspects and the economic aspects, and the consequences are tremendous. So, in retrospect, most certainly many things could have been done better. However, in the very beginning, we did not know what kind of virus we were dealing with. So, in the very beginning, to be a bit on the safer side was certainly understandable. But now we're in the third year, and I think we've learned a lot, and we probably would do it better this time around. Yeah.
Last question. We've learned a lot about the vaccines too. Would you have to take that? The vaccines we were told were 100%. Oh, well, nice to talk with you.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm here in Davos, Switzerland, along with my colleagues from Rebel News, including Avi Yamini and Callum Smiles, and we'll be joined by Calvin Robinson. We'll be here all week reporting on the secretive World Economic Forum. To see all our reports or to chip in to help cover our citizen journalism costs, please go to wefreports.com.